Friday evening, 10 to 9, and I'm just finishing up, just about to head off to go pick my daughter up from gymnastics, because today's my long day, so I've got my 12 hours. And just as I've gone to leave, I've noticed something really weird. So I'm just going to go check it out, because I don't think I'm alone this evening. I'm not the only one in the building, because the Shrewsbury management team is still here doing a training session. Check this out. Looks like a communication task. Dude, what are they doing?
They're doing team building.
That's so cool. It's like 10 to 9 on a Friday. People are going to watch this and they're going to go, everything you say about, like, you know, work-life balance is bullshit. You've got people here at 10 to 9 on a Friday. How do you answer that, Laura Watkins?
Team building.
We pay them really, really well, and they all drive Mercedes. It's a good effort, man. How they got with your balls?
They didn't miss that many of them, actually.
Good.
I was impressed. Liz only missed one. She did very well.
There's shit on the floor they've got to avoid. Check that out, like, they've got stuff on the floor. That's pretty cool. I've got to go. We're going to pick up Delaney. Just drop me a message. Let me know if you want to do breakfast in the morning. We'll be in probably for about 10:30. So we normally breakfast about 11:15ish. But if it's too early for you, just let us know. But yeah, we'll be out for breakfast, and then that's your desk, I assume, in the other office. So I might come and put that up. That's cool. I'll come and put that in at some point. But yeah, let us know if you want to. That's cool. Well, let us know if you want to catch up tomorrow. We can hook up for breakfast. Anyway, cheers, Lauren. Okay, cool. So that is the team. And, you know, it's really super unusual that this is happening late at night, but this is a management training session or a management team building session. And I think one of the challenges we have being an attraction is that, you know, we're open during the day, and one of the DMs is always on shift running the site. So getting them together in the daytime when they're not disturbed, either we have to bring another manager up from another site. We can't run a site without a manager, like, in situ. So it's quite difficult. So if something happens or they're needed, because obviously they've got stuff to do during the day, and it's really difficult to do. So it's really nice. I know it was pre-organised as well, that these guys were here to do this session this evening. So don't mistake that for our work-life balance is bollocks, because it's not. This is what I would say is a super dedicated team. It's part of their weekly hours, so it won't be on top, it'll be part of what they do. And they're committed. They really, really want to do a good job. And it's super unusual. I am not the only car here on a Friday night leaving, but really pleased to see it. And I think that's really nice. And we will absolutely reward these guys for working that extra mile. And obviously, because they're working that extra mile, they will be better. They will be better as a team. They will be better as an organisation. They will be better in terms of what they do. They will provide a better service to our customers. They will provide more support to our teams. It's just all super beneficial. So yeah, super stoked with those guys. I think that's super impressive. And again, you know, I just think it's great to see the teams getting on and working together and doing very much what Lauren's planned, which is team building. So that's kind of no, that one. There we go. Oh, I've found the light that makes it extra bright. But yeah, so these guys doing team building. I've got to get up to pick up Delaney, so maybe if I get a few minutes, I'll pick this video up when I get up to the top. So I'll be back shortly.
The following day.
I'm very aware how this is going to sound, but I'm going to say it anyway. Fuck. It's not a big deal. It's just a bit of a hassle. So it's early morning, 7:30. Jeff's just arrived. I'm at work, and there's no tea. There's no milk. Oh, you've got the milk. Go ahead. I'm just about to have. I'm going to whinge and change more milk. There'll be milk in the restaurant. Let's go and grab it. I'll grab it. So yeah, there's no rat-tea, out of milk. It's not a problem. It's just the other side of the site. I know it's not a real problem in life, but it means I've just got to go and get my keys because I walk halfway here. I'm like, fuck, I forgot my keys, and I have to go back and get my keys. And I walk all the way down. A lovely day though. Check this out. It's beautiful, beautiful day. It's glorious. And then I've got to walk into this corridor, which is, even though you can see how light it was outside, I'm in the dark corridor, the dark, ghostly corridor where you stand here next to the staff entrance to get into the restaurant, and you look back and you see like a shadow or a person walk past you, right? It's 7:30 in the morning and no one else is here. And this is the worst bit. Seriously, this is the actual worst bit. It's turning on the light, because when the light changes, that's when you see the little glimpses, and it's like, what the hell was that, man? So yeah, that is that. Find that key. So tomorrow, that wasn't me. Wasn't me. Tomorrow, Kieran starts. Wow, that's drafty. Oh, put the bloody roof up. Why are they taking the roof off? That's a bit weird. Yeah, that's going to create a draft. Tomorrow, Kieran starts, which is cool. So no longer, well, I mean, I'll still do it like this one, right? Where I wander around sort of my phone going, hey. But it does mean that we will get hopefully better footage and lots more of it. And I'll be able to share with you lots more of the insights about what's happening, what's going on behind the scenes. I'm just nipping through the restaurant to get the milk. There isn't any milk. Oh, that's a good job, Jess bought milk. Right, someone's getting fired today. Who orders milk? Because who didn't order it, they're getting fired. I mean, they're not really, but I will have to sort out to make sure we've got milk. Right, I need to get tea, and then I need to crack on my day, so in a little while.
Next day.
I think I'll film this bit because I'm halfway through an episode, but Kieran started. He's here. I didn't even ask him if he wanted to be on camera. I just make an assumption. It's all good. So it's changed. I've moved the desks around. So we created the space outside of my office, and I've managed to get rid of my big white table that was just covered in coffee stains. So we've got to figure out what's going to go there. Lauren thinks that we should put a games machine here, or Pac-Man machine, or pinball machines, and Jeff was in agreement, and I then reminded them both how many stairs there are to get up and how heavy and difficult that would be. I actually quite like the idea of a little VR space myself, utilising like the Meta platform and doing something the Oculus is, and then seeing how we can bring that digital world into our business. So I thought that might be a really cool starting point for that. However, we have got a really cool studio for that as well. So I'm not a bit, but anyway, more importantly, Kieran started. So we started that journey yesterday. It's a little bit haphazard, as with everything I do. I kind of just crack on, and then we work out the detail as we go, or somebody more intelligent than me works out the detail, which is good. I'm slightly through an episode already, so I'm going to kind of try and finish that off today. Round that all off, I can give it to Kieran, and then basically from that point forward, I won't have quite as much, say, control, but I can let other people deal with how to structure it and make it better. I've got quite a lot on today, in fairness. I've been working on a presentation this morning, so I've got to submit a presentation this morning for the Tropicana in Western, which is our expression of interest. So that's looking all right. It's quite a tricky one to do, which I might explain a little bit more about later, but I've got to present that to Lauren and Jeff at about 11:15. So I've got to take them through that presentation, make sure they're okay with it, and any additions that have to go, and have that submitted just after lunch. I've got a call in a second with the marketing agency to talk about visitor maps and site maps and what that's going to look like. So I'm going to jump on the online call and do that in a second. I'm going to nip into town because it's Friday, so it's muffin day, so I'm going to go get the muffins. That's a new one for you, mate. Muffin Day Friday.
Oh, we used to have Pie Day Friday.
Oh, that sounds even better.
Yeah, but it was pork pie all the time.
Okay.
A nice sweet pie.
Do you know what, the guys from Wrexham, the officers from Wrexham that come here to do the dog training, they've got on site a really good restaurant run by the prisoners. and they make loads of pies, and they bring us boxes and boxes of pies on occasions, and they're amazing. So it's not unfortunately, but I will go up and get some muffins in a bit. So we're going to do that, and then I've got a submission to put in, or I've got to put in basically an expression of interest, a proposal for purchasing a media agency. We've been talking to a couple of different media agencies in terms of purchase, another one in terms of investment. So we're just having a look at those. I think that's a really a journey we're going to take. So I've got to get that done, and we're just trying to finalise with the commercial guys and with our accountants what that price point should look like and how we'd structure that deal. So I want to get that done, and again in today before the end of the day. I want to try and get out of here at 3 because I've got to go do a few bits. Emma's in Cornwall with the kids, which means I've got to go back and let the dogs out, get the dogs out for walks and stuff like that because I've just been in all day. And I've got another proposal going in, or another purchase option. Jeff's actually thrown 2 out this week as well. We just seem to be trying to buy stuff. I don't know how we'll do it, but we're trying to buy stuff. And then I've got to get another one done for another building inside our attraction world to see if we can acquire that. So we're just working through that really, and on top of that I've got all the marketing stuff to do generally and the day-to-day CEO stuff, so it's quite busy. And obviously Kieran's just started, so I very much neglected him today and yesterday and sort of threw him at the deep end and just kind of, this is it, here's the access, this is how I've done it, and crack on. So I guess we'll see how we get on. And that's it. And then obviously bank holiday weekend. So some of the team will be in on Monday, some of them won't. And then yeah, we'll flow into next week and see how it all looks. Good morning, it's Tuesday. It's, what time is it? It's 8:45. So yeah, it's just coming up to 8:45. I thought I just rounding off this episode that was really kind of haphazard and kind of thrown together just through a variety of different things that were happening last week before the bank holiday weekend and the King's coronation. So I really wanted to just round this one off, get it finished, put it over to Paul, and then Kieran's here so we can then get started on all the new stuff and actually having some kind of sense and framework and idea and identity to what we're actually doing here. So that's really what I'm going to do. I'm going to go grab a seat next door. I'm going to talk about what I did over the weekend, how that all came together, and then round the episode off. Okay, right, I've moved offices. I'm opposite Kieran, funny enough, so I've stolen the other desk, which is looking a little bit bare because I had to send a computer screen back, which is another story, so I won't go into that. So coronation weekend, so most people were off and out and about. Obviously our attraction company was not, because we're an attraction, so we're open. And I think because we're prisons, it's a little bit more, I wouldn't say important, but maybe just a little bit more connected, because obviously we've been Her Majesty's prison for years, since we've had Her Majesty. So it's a bit of a change to His Majesty's prison. Now I know, and it was an interesting thing watching social media over the weekend, because the marketing guys had put out a really nice post about the coronation. They put out about how for Shepton and Shrewsbury it's a change from Her Majesty's to His Majesty's. And we had a few kind of comments kind of just coming back to us saying, well, you're decommissioned, so you're not actually his or hers, because you're a decommissioned prison. You have to be a real prison to have the title. I was like, well, we are a real prison, we're just not an active prison. So yes, I agree that there's some semantics in there and some detail to that piece, but ultimately we're just making a shift and a change. It's not really that big a deal in the grand scheme of things. So, but it's always interesting to me how people respond to things like that on social media, what they say, what they do, stuff along those lines. So anyway, so my weekend panned out. Actually, Emma and the kids were away for the weekend. They were down in Helston for Flora Day in Cornwall. So I was by myself for 4 days. So I worked Thursday, worked Friday. Saturday, I was at home, and do you know what I did? I just worked. I just sat in my home office pretty much from 10 in the morning through to 6 in the evening, and I just literally slogged my way through because I had so much stuff to do. Because if you don't know, then you really don't listen, is that I also hold the role of marketing manager, so it keeps me quite busy trying to do both jobs between the two. I talk about it often enough, which is why I say if you don't know, then clearly you don't listen, because it's all I go on about. But I'm going to do a little bit more on that later this week with Kieran with Kieran to structure something a little bit more and kind of explain that and kind of frame up as well Cove Group and what we're doing, where we're going, what the goals and the visions are. So I want to try and get that right into the beginning again of this journey. So that was Saturday. Sunday, I actually spent just around the garden, just doing bits and pieces like varnishing a shed and kind of just general sort of housework and stuff. I've got some photos actually of varnishing the shed, so I'm going to chuck those in here. Paul, if you'd be so kind as to show the stages of my shed being varnished, that'd be great. That was Sunday, standard, very, very standard stuff. And then Monday, I came back into work. I was in the office all day yesterday, as was Lauren, as was Jeff. And again, we just plowed through loads and loads of stuff just to really get ahead of the game. So today, we're pretty much there. So yeah, that was kind of the coronation weekend. I'm not a massive royalist. I'm not a royalist. I'm not a royalist. I'm kind of on the fence. I'm kind of a Switzerland effectively. In it, I can take it or leave it. I understand why people dislike it. I understand why people like it, and I just kind of went with that flow effectively. So that was my weekend. I've got quite a big day today. I've got to go and do a load of marketing reports now. We've got a big marketing meeting this afternoon where the agency that we use, they're coming in to do our monthly review. So we talk about what's happened over the past month and what's happening going forwards. And then we're rolling straight into a discussion around the renewals because our contracts end at the end of this month. The contract value at the moment is in the region of about 72, 73k, something like that. So it's not a small contract, and I think there's an expectation that that contract value will need to move like upwards. The decision really now that we have to look at and make is, do we continue to outsource as much as we do, or do we bring a lot of stuff in-house? Do we do a hybrid? What's the journey going forward? So quite a big day today for marketing to really kind of work our way through and make some of those decisions for the attraction division, at least. How we're going to structure that and how we're going to film that, I've got no idea. And I'm kind of dropping on Kieran as well because he can obviously hear me because he's over there. He's holding up the phone because I don't know how external companies are going to respond to this kind of stuff. And I also don't know how they're going to feel about trying to pitch, I guess, or present, this is what we suggest going forwards, and this is that's effectively a sales pitch. How they're going to feel about doing that on camera, and whether that affects them. I think that this is going to affect so many more people than me because I'm just kind of used to it. It's just kind of what I wanted to do. So for me, it's fine. And I think other people are going to struggle with it a little bit. So I need to figure that out because I don't want people to feel uncomfortable. I want people to be able to just do what they do. But at the same time, I want to be able to capture it because I want to be able to share it. And I want to show people what happens behind the scenes when you're discussing a £70,000 marketing contract with an external company, and that journey and what that's like. So yeah, we need to figure that one out. So we'll do that this morning, meet with them this afternoon, and that's pretty much my day. So that's going to be the end of this episode. I'm going to round that off now. I didn't actually do a beginning to it. So Paul, I don't know if you can cleverly cut something together. It was a very random beginning to the episode as you saw. So I didn't really do the whole entrepreneur intro, but I'm sure Paul can cut something together for me. But I will do the outro as always. So thank you for listening. I hope you've enjoyed the episode. Don't forget to subscribe and all those kind of good things. This has been Entrepreneur Life with me, Joel Campbell, and I am an entrepreneur.